Racket magazine. Racket magazine.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Charles F., and this is...
I'm Pat Sayers, and we are two members of Winter Gloves.
Cool. And I know you probably get asked all the time, but Winter Gloves, is it because you're from one of the coldest places around here?
Yeah, that's one thing. Winter Gloves is... Yeah, we wanted winter in the name because we're from Canada and it's so cold out there. But the Winter Gloves was like just a story about... Like I was working in this outdoor equipment store for a while, and I was racking gloves for like one day, and I was looking for a band name at the same time. It just like got to me, and I thought let's just take that name. And I think like now we just kept the name to remind us not to go back to racking gloves and then just do this music business all the way.
Now the band almost didn't happen though, right? It was kind of somebody was writing songs and putting it on their MySpace, and people was like, that's really good. Somebody else was in the other band, and they said, well, let's get together and make a band of this, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I started to write like a few songs on MySpace, and then I already had the idea of having a band together for a while, so it was a dream for me. So like it was clear that I wanted to have the band. But when I got with Vincent, the keyboard player at Winter Gloves, we mixed the EP together, and it was so fun that we just like, okay, we're gonna find like some other musicians to play with us.
And how did you find each other?
Vince is like I'm talking about Vince pointing that direction because he's here. Like,
hey Vince. Hello.
Yeah, he's a high school buddy of mine, and we just started the project together, and we met Patrick. I worked in the studio. We met at this studio, and it just like let's play together and see what happens. And yeah, Nico is the last one, the guitar player. He just joined the band like a few months ago while we were recording the last album, All Red.
Okay. Now, being from Montreal, you have a lot of talent that comes out of there, especially in the indie department. Do you guys feel that there's a higher standard being from Montreal? Like, is Montreal like the New York of the indie scene like it is here, or?
What do you think?
I do think Montreal is a lot like New York, in the sense like Toronto's kind of like Los Angeles, meaning that I think Montreal is more laid back and kind of artistic and less kind of, I don't know, businessy and flashy like LA kind of is, or Toronto for us in Canada. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we just kind of make our music and do our thing, and I think we're our own like harshest critics, and we don't really compare ourselves to other bands from Montreal just because we're from there. You know, we do our own thing and we judge ourselves and push each other.
So, getting into the album, where did All Red come from?
It's actually pretty different. It's a bunch of high school stories that I had in mind for the record, and they're not like, the album is not all about high school, but like a few songs on the record are about high school. So I just like, when we wrote About a Girl, the first album, it was about like moving in a bigger city. And I guess now it's just like the time for us to go back to like high school sweethearts and awkward stories from dance parties and meeting girls and stuff like that. That when you're 15, like none of that is really appealing. And when you're old, you kind of think about those days like, it was so fun back then, but it wasn't. So yeah, that's a bunch of stories from high school. All Red is kind of for the blushing and the awkwardness of being in high school. That's a record that we recorded by ourselves. I produced it, Vincent engineered the record, and we all worked in our own bubble, own studio for a few months. So it's really a personal album, Winter Gloves sounding for sure.
Okay. And what's the biggest difference between that one and your prior one?
Like About a Girl was about meeting like different people. We were new in the industry, and we were new writing songs and being a band, so we wanted to go on tour as soon as possible to become a band. And we recorded the album in 1 week after I wrote like a few demos, and it was just like a lot of energy, really a lot of frustration at the same time.
Yeah, we had more time to develop this one opposed to the first one, where it was kind of a rushed record, you know, which gives it its own charm. But this time we were fortunate enough to have more time to kind of develop the sounds and the songs.
And you use a lot of synths. You have kind of like who am I trying trying to say, bouncy kind of a drum beat, you know, and it's cool in the sense you have an alternative and sort of laid back. Some songs would be great for house parties and dance. What's your inspiration going into it instrumentally? Was there a mindset going into it, or what do you guys like to do instrumentally?
I mean, like one thing for sure is like the drums and the electronic drums are very important to me. I like both, and we're all musicians in the band, but at the same time I like programming, and so that was the goal of the album, to mix the electronics and the drums. Like I'm listening a lot of LCD Sound System, for example, that kind of stuff I really like. And yeah, so we spend a lot of time like working, like Patrick on the drums and me like working the electronics like on top of it, instead of just programming everything and having like just a track being played. So it just kind of a blend.
In this album, you can hear more synthesizers, and it gave kind of the first album what it was lacking a little bit. Now you have kind of that melodic, you know, the melodies of the synths in the back, and you have more instrumental, you know, instruments playing. You feel that's been an advantage, having everybody to work on it as a band, and then having you being able to produce it yourself.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I mean, we still use the same instruments. It's just like we modified like everything a little bit. So we had the organs and the Junos, for example, that we had on the first record, but we just like put the sounds together to make them different. So it's the same instrument but different sounding. And like I think having the band working on it, it was just like easier to get a better picture of the whole thing after working on a week, because I was like working night and day on it. So it was just felt natural to have the band after that working with me and have like those ideas of like with more perspective.
Okay. I read somewhere that you guys almost got struck by lightning.
Yeah.
So are you guys like that good that when you rock out, it brings lightning from the sky because it's just too much for the world to handle?
Yeah, I wish we were actually playing when it happened, but to be honest, we were waiting to set up. We're playing this outdoor festival called Hillside in Canada, in Ontario, and this crazy thunderstorm rolled in, and yeah, the tent was struck by lightning, and there was this huge explosion and a flash, and I initially thought that like a transformer blew up or something, but it turns out there was a video clip. Some people were like sliding in the mud, and they were filming each other like sliding in the mud, and then you see the sky light up and the lightning bolt come down and strike the tent where we were in. So yeah, I'm just glad that people set up the tent properly and everyone made it out, because there's probably close to 800 people under that tent. So.
Were you guys like nervous about going on after that? You think that was a sign from God, like you're not supposed to play today?
No, I don't think so. Like the energy was quite good. Like all the crowd was in shock, and so we were in shock as well. So it was
touring in the States now. So both of you guys, I want you to tell me some things you like about the United States that you like better than Canada, and things you don't like.
Like one thing I have to say is it's pretty weird, but it's just like the gas handle. Like yeah, in the States you still have like that hold that you can just like pour gas and just like walk away and then do something else and then just wait. We don't have that anymore in Canada, so it sucks.
Well, Americans know you're lazy. I mean, if that's what you want, then you come on down to America.
Yeah, and yeah, do you have a?
What's one thing you don't like about the States?
I mean, like honestly, the food on the road is really hard, but it's the same in Canada. I mean, it's not just the States. It's just like on the road, it's really hard to eat well, and I guess because we travel so much, I mean. That's it.
Yeah, a lot of fried food, unfortunately. Yeah. But we're happy to be in the South. I mean, I just had some. My friends had some pulled pork, and I had some jerk chicken, and it's authentic home cooked good food, and yeah, it's delicious.
I mean, you guys have universal health care, but we got good health.
Yeah.
I think we got you beat in that.
Well, you can find us on MySpace. I guess it's MySpace/Winter Gloves, or Facebook /Winter Gloves Music. And we're doing a thing on this tour where we're doing a lot of filming of our trip and different things. And so weekly we're putting up short video clips so people can tune into that, kind of small like webisode type of thing. And yeah, you can find all the music and all the updates and stuff all up there, the tour dates on MySpace and Facebook.
Racket.
We do the Twitter too, huh? You're big on the Twitter?
Oh yeah, I'm working a lot on that.